What's up, everyone? It's me, your host, Ray. It's been a while since we last talked, a little bit over a month now. I hope you guys are doing well, and today I want to talk about exactly why I haven't uploaded for such a long time, even though I promised that I would try to upload with a bit more frequency than previous semesters. After that, I'd also like to talk about an event related to us airplane collectors that's coming up pretty soon. You guys probably have an idea of what this is, but I'll save it for the end. So, why have I not uploaded in a little bit over a month, even though I said I'd be able to in my previous update video? Well, let me explain my situation. So, right now I'm at school. I don't have access to the majority of my collection. I only have 4 scale models up here on my desk. So, I can't really post any new reviews of models that I have back home. However, I can order new model airplane releases directly to my dorm, and since I'm in a single, I have the room to myself, I can film reviews when I have free time. Now, the situation is not that I haven't had free time, it's that I haven't received any new models recently. And that's definitely a surprise from what I said in my previous video, because originally I had intended on ordering several new model airliners so I could review them here to the dorm, and because I just wanted them in the collection. However, circumstances have dictated otherwise, and there's 2 sets of models that I wanted to review from when I posted my college update back in August until about now. The first set is the Gemini Jets August 2025 release set. I was originally going to order 2 1-400 scale models and 1 1-200 scale model from that set, and I ended up ordering none of them. The reason being, for the 1-400 scales at least, was because of quality and just my perfectionism. The models didn't meet my standards. I'll go over that in more detail in a little bit. And the 1-200 scale model, I decided it just wasn't necessary in the fleet, so I figured, okay, I'll save it for later, or I might just not get it at all. But yeah, that's what happened with that set. The second set were 2 models from the NG Model Collector Awards program, where I redeemed a bunch of my collector points to get 2 free model airplanes, and I wanted to get them shipped here to the dorm so I could review them, but they ended up going to my hometown, and it was a whole fiasco with the shipping service, but they're in my family's possession, they're just not in my possession here. So that's why I haven't posted any reviews, or anything for that matter. Again, I'll talk about the Gemini set in a little bit, and I'll just talk about the model airplane manufacturers and their releases in a little bit as well. But now I'd like to switch gears onto the event I was referring to earlier. Airplane collectors, it's that time of year again. It's time to mark your calendars and save the date, because the Chicago Airline Collectibles Show is coming up this November. Here, we're going to transfer over to my computer, so if my editing prevails, you guys should see my computer screen right now. So here is the Grayland Station website. Grayland Station is my go-to retailer for die-cast model airliner models. They're based out of Chicago, and I've talked about them a bunch of times here on the channel. And they're the ones, and the owner, Mr. Steve Mazanek, he's the one who coordinates these airliner shows in Chicago. And he posted an update on his website recently, and here it is. The Fall Airline Show is due to occur on take place on Saturday, November 15th at the Marriott Chicago O'Hare Hotel. This is a different location from previous years, because from what he told me when I talked to him in July, there were some complications with the original location and scheduling and a bunch of technicalities, and he wasn't able, or they weren't able to host the event at the original Holiday Inn Hotel in Elk Grove Village, where it's always been. They switched to a new one, and looks like they switched the date too. So yeah, this event, if you don't know, is a airline memorabilia convention where buyers and sellers alike go to trade, sell, and buy aviation memorabilia, which includes posters, stickers, pictures, and most importantly to the viewers on this channel, model airplanes, and lots of them. I've been a seller at this show since May of 2023, and I've had a blast every single time. And I've actually been to the show since November of 2021 when I first went as a buyer, and I've had a blast every single time. There's lots of cool people there, lots of interesting merchandise, and overall it's a great experience. So if you're considering going, I highly recommend going. It's a fun event for the whole family. The family that's interested in airplanes, at least. If someone's not interested in airplanes, they might find it quite boring. But who finds airplanes boring, right? So there's all that, but I also have some bad news about the event regarding my attendance. Because the event is taking place on Saturday, November 15th, that's about a week or 2 weeks earlier than normal, So therefore, I will not be able to attend this time around. I have exams the week before and the week after, and the event does not fall under my Thanksgiving break timeline when it usually does, so I just can't make it. At least I don't think I'll be able to make it. If that situation changes for whatever reason, I'll update you guys as soon as possible, but yeah, I mean, sucks I can't make it. I was a little bit bummed out about that, kind of still bummed out about it, but figuratively and quite literally, the show must go on, so yeah, if you are considering selling there for the first time, take my spot. Yeah, I guess there's that. So that's it for the Chicago Airline Collectibles Show. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So that's about it for updates about my whereabouts. I mean, me personally, I'm doing all right. I'm still alive. I'm doing as well as can be expected under an aerospace engineering degree program, and that's like I said, I'm alive, so I'm grateful for that. I haven't gotten sick yet either, but every time I talk about getting sick in one of my update videos, I get sick within a week, so we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens with that. But overall, I'm hanging in there, and I hope you guys are feeling the same way. Hope you guys are doing all right. You know, if you're at school, grinding it out, working hard, getting those good grades. If you're working on yourself, you know, working out or staying healthy. Just, yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. So that's about it in terms of updates. Now, I would like to discuss why I didn't buy any new Gemini Jets, any of the Gemini Jets August 2025 releases, and why I don't plan on buying any of the September 2025 releases. And then after that, I would just like to talk about the die-cast model airliner market as a whole, because that's not something I've done here on this channel a lot, or at all actually, and it's something I'd like to talk about. It's a very nuanced subject. Everyone has a different take on it, and I think it would be a good way to prompt discussion between you guys and me, of course. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So this is, yeah, let me exit out of the Ground Station website. So here is the Gemini Jets website. We've got a few future release previews. What's interesting to me is that they're releasing another Gemini Aces model, an F-18 Hornet. This is very uncommon, but it's cool. It's not one that I plan on getting. I'm not a huge fan of the F-18 Hornet. My heart belongs to the F-18 Super Hornet, and we'll talk more about this one, or not this model, but the F-18 Super Hornet in a little bit as well. Let me put this back on its stand. There we go. Yeah, but a bunch of future release previews. None of these, I'm not tempted by really any of these. Maybe the Lufthansa 100-year anniversary delivery. That looks really cool, by the way. But getting to the point, the August 2025 release set is still visible on the website here. And the two 1-400 scale models I was planning on getting was first this American Airlines Airbus A321 in the U.S. Airways Heritage livery. This was a highly anticipated model for us American collectors, and also for some collectors outside of the U.S., mostly North America, though, because I believe that's where this aircraft operates. So, despite how picky I may seem in my reviews, I can still tolerate the Gemini Jets 1-400 scale A320 family tooling if it's for an IAE-engined A320 model, or A320 family model. And that's the case for this one. It's got those IAE engines. For the other engine options, I don't tolerate it. But anyway, this model, I was very excited for it, but the reason I decided to say no to it was because of the fuselage color. If we look very closely, the fuselage color kind of has a shade of beige to it. That is absolutely incorrect for the U.S. Airways livery and also incorrect for the special livery. It should be a perfect white color, or maybe light gray. If not, it should have a very slight hint of blue to it, but it should be almost perfectly white. This obviously isn't the case, so I said, you know what, no, I'll just wait for maybe NG Model to do it, if and when they ever do it. And again, we're going to talk about NG Model because I've got plenty of things to say about them as well. So that's why I opted not to get this one. And also, I'm concerned about the quality control because, one, it's Gemini Jets. Their quality control has improved a little bit in recent years, but it's still not up to a standard where I'd say they're reliable. But in this picture, if we look at the right engine inlet, if you look at where my mouse is spinning, that's a flake of metal sticking out of the engine there. That's not supposed to be there, and that's definitely not something I appreciate. Very unusual defect there. I'd imagine it's an isolated issue, but I mean, there's always a chance that it gets worse. So there's that. That's the first 400 scale one. I'm going to take a quick break here. Stay hydrated, kids. It's always important to drink your water. Anyway, next up was this United Express Bombardier CRJ 550. This one I was more hesitant on getting from the beginning. I'm not really fond of Gemini Jets and their 1-400 scale regional aircraft toolings, and I think my concern was just because, yeah, this model didn't turn out the greatest. You can see some paint chipping on the United Globe title there. Now, this is probably an isolated issue, but if they're sending this kind of picture out on their website for promoting the model, that's a little bit scary. Yeah, so that's why I opted not to get this one. Yeah, I don't really mess with the tooling, and I might get it eventually, but it's not one I'm particularly excited about. And last but not least, the 1 to 200 scale one, it was this JetBlue A320. This one I didn't decide on bailing out on the grounds of quality, if that makes sense. I decided not to get this one because I just simply didn't really want it that much. I thought it looked really cool. I think it would be a solid model, but I decided, you know what, it's not really something I'm too excited for, so I'm not going to buy it. It's just not something I wanted to buy right now. I might get it in the future, but we'll see. So there's that. Now, moving on to the September releases. The September releases were quite interesting in my opinion. They were pretty good for some collectors, but for me personally, they weren't too exciting. Interestingly enough, we got an MD90, which we also got in the August release. So it's good to see that Gemini is using their MD90 tooling a bit more often now, so that's always an improvement. But the only model I was really excited for, I'm not really excited for, excuse me by the way, the only model I was remotely considering was this United 777-200ER, but I'll probably just wait for NG to do it, because to my understanding, NG has a better tooling for the 777-200, so I'll just wait for that. Oh, looks like I have a bad case of the hiccups. In terms of the 1 to 200 world, nothing really excited me here. I mean, yeah, we had the CRJ550, but that's not one I plan on getting. And then another 777, but this is the Star Alliance livery. I'm going to be honest, I really don't like the Star Alliance livery, so, yeah. Oh, what's this? Oh, there's a B-52. Yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan. I might get the B-52, but I don't know for sure. So, yeah, that's why I didn't get any of those Gemini models that I was planning on reviewing from August until now. So, yeah. Alright, so switching the subject to military aircraft. This is what I was referring to when I was talking about the F-18. So, back in August, actually a little bit before I posted my update video, Hobbymaster released their November 2025 leaflet for the models that were part of the November 2025 release, obviously. And one of those models was an FA-18E Super Hornet. Big whoop, right? It was an FA-18 Super Hornet that I requested, and it was one that you guys have seen on this channel before. If you watched my summer 2024 live stream, I talk about this F-18 Super Hornet right here. The special thing about this one is that it's the CAG bird for VFA-136. VFA-136 is a strike fighter squadron flying for the United States Navy. They're known as the Nighthawks, and CAG stands for Commander Air Group, and I believe that's what that stands for, at least. And what U.S. Navy squadrons do is that they paint one of their airplanes with the squadron's colors and the squadron's markings, because the rest of the airplanes are usually like a military gray color, but they paint one airplane in the squadron's colors and markings, and on the side of the airplane, usually under the canopy rail in the case of the F-18, they will paint the name of the commanding officer, or commanding officer? Just the commander for the air group, I believe it is. Yeah, the commander for the air group and the deputy commander for the air group. And that's what this airplane is. It's my favorite one in the U.S. Navy because I just really like the way it looks, and they released it. So I am one lucky son of a gun to have this model released. I'm very excited for it, but I will be waiting a very long time for it because it's not due to arrive to retailers until at least February of next year, if not March or later if the global shipping situation gets worse, because right now it's down the drain. So yeah, that's one thing I'm very much looking forward to. Alright, now let's look at NG model. NG model, they've had a few solid releases recently, but overall I'm not too excited for anything that they're going to produce within the next month or two. Lots of their future releases are pretty interesting though. So let's see here. Right here we've got a Delta Team USA A350. That's one I definitely want to get. Let's see what else. Regular livery Delta A350, that's one that we American collectors will definitely appreciate. Virgin Atlantic A350-1000, this is definitely something out of left field because NG has ignored most of Europe, so this is certainly a good surprise. I might get this one. Let's see what else. Yeah, a bunch of 1 to 200 models. Air Callum A330neo, that's a good one. Air Greenland A330neo, also very nice. British Airways A350-1000. Oh, I'm very tempted to get this one as well. I love the British Airways A350, and I love NG's A350 tooling, so I'm sure this model will look amazing when it gets released. And also in the 1 to 200 department, we've had some good ones, like a Delta 757-200 right there, and then one with winglets. Yes, very excited for that one myself. So, yeah. Now, in the recent release for October of 2025, they did several good ones. They did a few Hawaiian Airlines A321 Neos and A330s. I'm definitely going to get one of each of those, an A321 and an A330. And they also did the JetBlue A320 and the Dunkin' Donuts special livery. As a professional consumer and enjoyer of Dunkin' Donuts, I'm legally required to buy them all, so I definitely will consider getting that if and when those get released, because right now the market is rather unstable and very suboptimal for us collectors. Prices are going up, shipping times are uncertain due to the global shipping situation, and I've noticed a lot that sales have kind of started to go down, if you will. Collectors are buying less because the prices are just getting obscenely expensive, and that's also a contributing factor as to why I haven't been buying as much, because prices are just getting too absurd. I'm not going to pay $60 for a 1 to 400 scale narrow-body aircraft. That's absolutely absurd. I mean, $50 was already pushing it. Even then, that's too expensive, but $60, no. That's just a joke. So there's that, and also just release variety from the various manufacturers. You know, JC Wings, Gemini Jets, NG Model. They really across the board, the releases haven't been great. They haven't released any really exciting models in the past month or two, and that's what's contributing to the fact that I haven't bought very much, and I don't plan on buying very much until either they release something good or maybe for the rest of the year. That's a bit of a stretch. Right now it's only October, so there's plenty of time, but also we also have October, November, and then December. That's it. So I'm not sure how entrances to the collection will look like, but the only model that I know 100% certain that I'm going to buy in terms of pre-built diecast is that F-18 that I talked about earlier. That's the only one I'm really truly excited for, and that's the one I really plan on getting. All of the others are up in the air. And worst comes to worst, all of the models that I said I was interested in getting in this video, I might not get any of them. It really depends on the global situation and the prices and stuff, but I'll keep you guys posted. Now, if you're very curious and you want to see a very up-to-date version of the diecast models in my collection, look no further than my... Oh, what do you mean I'm almost out of storage? That's absurd. Look no further than my model airplanes database. I have this linked on the About section of my YouTube channel, which it should be... Yeah, so I think this is like my About section. And it's the first link here. This is my model airplane collection database. And here's where I keep track of all of my pre-built and some of my plastic model airplanes. So here is my 1 to 400 scale aircraft collection. Right now I have 198 models. Jesus. I have too many models. That's what that number means. Too many. But here's all of them. You can see all sorts of information about it. And I update this as soon as I get updates. So the day I get a model, this gets updated. So this is 100% up to date, and you guys can see which models I've reviewed, which ones I haven't, which ones I'm considering selling at shows and such. And yeah, that's what this page has. You can also see my past fleet. So yeah. Also, if you're reading this database and you're interested in buying a model or something, the ones that I'm interested in selling are highlighted in gold in the corner here. Please do not ask me for any of the other ones. Those I'm not interested in selling. I've had people do that before, and it's just like, bro, read the guide. It says right here at the top, models I'm considering to sell in the future are highlighted in gold. So if the number on the side is highlighted in gold, then yes, I'm interested in selling it. But I can't guarantee whether or not I'll be able to sell it in a reasonable time frame. So yeah, this is my 1 to 400 scale collection. On the bottom of the page, you can see different tabs for, that should not be there, different tabs for the different sections. So that's 1 to 400 scale. For 1 to 200 scale is right here. Got all that there. Wait, hold on, that's, I think I'm just making sure that's in order. So yeah, there's that. I got my spacecraft section. This is mostly just space shuttles, but there's a bunch of other things here too. 1 to 72nd scale military right here. I've got all my fighters there. Also have the scores for the model airplane showdowns organized if you guys want to see those. And any updates, because I do update the scores if people point out things that I've missed. So just pay attention to that if you want to see that. And of course, the numbers that you guys have asked for sometimes, like it's by manufacturer, by a model manufacturer, by aircraft manufacturer, by retailer. Basically, everything you need to know about my pre-built die-cast collection and some of my plastic models are on here. I do eventually plan on expanding this to my entire collection, but that would take a very long time, and maybe I'll do that this winter when I'm at home. So, yeah. Well, that's all I've got for today. It's a very long video. Thank you all for watching. If you guys watched till the end, as always, if you have questions or feedback, be sure to leave a comment below. I'm happy to get back to you as soon as I can. If you're new to the channel and you want to show some support, like this video and subscribe so you never miss another upload. Whether or not I'll upload soon, that's definitely up in the air, but I don't plan on making any new content for at least the next month. I will say that. The next time I go home is going to be in late November, and hopefully I can squeak out a few reviews during that time frame, but for now, I don't have anything in the pipeline, so you guys are just kind of going to have to wait patiently for me. I'm sorry about that, but it's just the situation. That's all I've got. Happy building, happy collecting. Please take good care of yourselves, especially as the weather starts to get cold in the northern hemisphere. Whenever it does start getting cold, because right now it's actually pretty nice. I'll see you next time. Take care.